got the class angle covered here. She can loves the wet. It's just a matter of whether she can stay. So that's the gamble. Got all the quality in the world to win this race, just if she can stay.
Yeah, I think she'll come across from a mid sort of range barrier, sit whether it be outside the lead. I'm tipping Brenton Abdullah would like to get into the 1-1 just to give the horse a little bit of cover, like you said, Ronnie, just so I can see that trip out.
Gypsy Goddess number 2, Willie Pike on for David Van Dyke.
They're going to try and be a little bit closer with it in the run today. She probably had too much to do in a moderately run race there in the Vinery at Newcastle. I expect she's got as much up the sleeve than anything in that race as far as improvement is to come. She just has to handle this heavy track, and I think she's right in it.
I think it maps a lot better for her today, Ronnie. I know she's drawn in the middle of them, but I don't think she'll have to go so far back like she did at Newcastle in the Vinery. So given that she'll get a better run, I think she'll run well.
Biscayne Bay number 3, Mark Zara for Kieran Maher and David Eustace.
Yeah, interesting. They did it with a Hotsu. She's a lightly framed filly, so you wouldn't think she was second up. Blinkers are back on. She was placed in the Oaks in the spring, and she was okay first up in a month since. So it is a high Totsu preparation. I can't say no.
Number 4 is Honey Creeper, Hugh Bowman, James Cummings.
Well, she's she's had the tough lead-up run last week where she sprinted quickly and looked very, very good. And the market's really reacted and fallen in love with her today. It was a weaker race than the Vinery, but the setup looks good and she's right in the mix.
Yeah, I was really disappointed when I seen the barrier draw come out. I know it's going to get back in the field, but I just would have loved to have seen her to draw a little bit softer where she could have raced that a little bit closer. It's going to be tough for Huey Bowman, but if given the right run, I reckon he'll be hitting the line solid like last start.
Newcomer to Chris Lee's as stable as Lavilli. Damien Oliver has the ride.
Yeah, look, the ex-Kiwi arrives here with different form, you can say that, and has got plenty of talent. So hard to line up, but she's got supporters.
Now to El Patroness number 6, Danny O'Brien, Damien Lane.
Look, a Victorian with no heavy track experience. I've been respecting any market moves. She does put herself into a position and maps very well.
Yeah, I think it maps good. I think this horse could probably end up in front as well, Ronnie, but given it's been running well down at Caulfield and Moonee Valley, if it gets a soft enough lead, it'll run cheap.
Hope in Your Heart number 7, Nasruilla and Kerry Parker.
Look, she does have some talent and gives the impression she will stay. So I think she's got a place chance coming out of the right race.
Gin Martini number 8, Robbie Dolan, John Sargent.
I just needed to see her do a little bit more last start in the Vinery. So previous form wasn't bad, but I probably prefer a few others.
Another one for John Sargent is Pink Ivory. James McDonald takes over.
Oh, well, she was very impressive on that heavy track at Newcastle, wasn't she? 2 starts back, winning with a head on her chest, and she wasn't bad in the Vinery. So McDonald takes over today, and she's amongst the best chances. They're going to try and ride her a pair or two closer as well.
Yeah, obviously got a little bit way back in the Newcastle race, but really interested to see Rory Hutchinson's comments after the race. He said if it had been at the original distance, it would have won by 3 or 4, but not sure that was the case. But I think stepping up to the 2400 will definitely suit.
We've got Charity Spirit, Alicia Collett, Gary Portelli.
She was good behind Honey Creeper last week. It's hard to see her turning the tables, but when you look at the price discrepancy between the pair, you would think it's too much.
I think it'll go a little bit further forward too, Ronnie. Got back the other day, worked home really well, toughed it out really, really well, but given it's drawn a little bit tricky, I reckon Alicia Collett will push on a little bit and take up a more forward position.
Another one for Mar and Eustace's Secret Glamour, Johnny Allen.
Yeah, there was a tip round for her last week. She didn't do much on the heavy, but maybe she got a tongue over the bit because they put a tongue tie on her today, and they're going to be trying to ride her a bit more forward, but it's just a matter of whether she can handle it going where she didn't seem to last week.
From Secret Glamour to Commando Drift, Fred Kersley on for the Carey stable up from Melbourne, who've won a derby and also a Tancred.
Yeah, they know how to cause an upset. This filly was good, winning a 2200 metre maiden, so she can stay, and that was on a soft 7. So these connections have produced upsets in the past with 3-year-olds in staying races and all across the board.
Pat Carey, a great trainer of stayers. I've actually ridden an Oaks winner for him down in Melbourne, but I totally agree, Ronnie. At sale over the 2200, I thought this horse run really good. So giving it run on the soft, I know it's heavier today, but it's got its chance.
Velvet Lady is Grant Buckley on for John Ramsey.
Well, she's won a past 2 with authority over 2100 and 2200, but in much weaker grade than this.
More recently, number 16, Craig Williams on for Chris Lees.
I don't think she was bad last week. She was quite good. She'll run the 2,400 metres out. She'll handle it wet, and I think she'll run well at big odds.
Number 18, Youthful, Brock Ryan and Brad Widdop.
Still a maiden after 8 starts. I'd probably prefer a drier track for her too.
Okay, that's the Oaksfield. They're getting to the start. Some of them giving a good warm-up. We'll get to Ali and she can tell us more in a moment. Corey, which is the 3-year-old filly to beat?
Oh, I think number 4, Honey Creeper. I just love the way that this horse hit the line last time here. I was a little disappointed when the barrier draw come out. Just makes it a little bit tougher for Huey Bowman, but given he gives it a good ride, I think it's going to be very, very hard to beat.
I'm 2, 1, 4 and 9. I'm going with the Vinery form and just a better class of horse, I think. All these 4 favourites have all had their supporters at different stages of betting here, and I love the way she's presented here today. Gypsy Goddess, she's switched on, she's alert, she's well, and I reckon she's ready to run the 1.5 mile right out and give Willie Pike a Sydney Group 1. I think Hinged is the danger. She's going to be Johnny on the spot, looking the winner on the point of the turn here, just if she can run through the pain barrier at the distance, because she's certainly got the quality and the wet track ability. 4, Honey Creeper, well, you had to be impressed with her last week where she just sprinted through the line and has backed up well here. And Pink Ivory's the other one. She's into $6 late here and got enough supporters in her own right. I'm 2, 1, 4 and 9. It's not hard to lay one of these favourites, Glenn. You can lay them all.
Yeah, you can lay the 4 of them, Ronnie. In fact, we've got a new favourite. The Toppy's into favourite Hinged. So we're nearly back to where we were on Tuesday with Hinged, the favourite now at $3.80 ahead of Honey Creeper at $4.20. And she got into as short as $3.40 today. The best Hinge has got to at any stage is $4. Gypsy Goddess is into $4.60 where she started the day and she got to $5. Pink Ivory's at $5.50 and her best has been $6.50 today. A good jump to Biscayne Bay at 17. Started the day at 16 and got to 18. Lavilli, the Kiwi now with Chris Lees, got to 23 as 21. El Patroness at its best today of 26. Charity Spirit at her best today of 41. Hope in Your Heart. She started 51, got into a 34. She's now 41. Velvet Lady for Johnny Ramsey there, 61. That's its best. More recently, 71, a best of 81. Gin Martini and Secret Glamour, 81 each of 2. Best for Gin Martini, 126, the best for Secret Glamour, and triple figures the other 2. Hinged, favourite for the Star Australian Oaks, a $3.80 chance over Gypsy Goddess into $4.20. This has been a good firm since they went onto the track here. $4.20 now with Honey Creeper, and Pink Ivory gets out the full point. Was $5.50 out to $6.50. Update for the Tab Everest, Greg. Marzu into $11 from $15. In the Congo out to $18, and Paul Laley I think you'll find out to $26. But Marzu joins the same line of betting as Lost and Running as an $11 chance in the Tab Everest.
Okay, well, the track gets a real test here in the next 2 races with 15 runners and 19, but this is quite remarkable how this track is playing after the downfall that we experienced through the week on top of the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of mil we've had in the lead up all month long. But now we get to really test old Randwick out with 2 laps of the Oaks and 2 and a bit laps of the or a full lap, I should say, a full lap of the course for the Oaks and a lap and a half of the Sydney Cup starting down the side. So they get ready. Ali, how are they looking over there?
Pink Ivory is a very switched-on filly. She's been switched on since she arrived on track. I saw her in the stalls and she's no different here. Very alert, fit and ready to go. Charity Spirit is getting warm. A horse I just wanted to make mention of at the odds and at much longer odds, I might note as well, is Velvet Lady. I think she's here in fantastic order. She looks great. She's handling the occasion very well. Our visitor, obviously, from out of town. Gin Martini is getting a little bit full of herself. I would just note Youthful was one who didn't do too much. A lot of the jockeys elected to take their horses for a big long gallop. She wasn't asked to do that. And then just on Gypsy Goddess, she towers over some of these little girls, and she's got a big action, covers a lot of ground, and she's certainly probably the most imposing behind the barriers, Gypsy Goddess.
Kieran Maher and David Eustace and Johnny Allen trying to do the Derby Oaks double here after Totsu won 7 days ago. Mao and Eustace with a couple of chances. Youthful comes up, they're just about set. Here's Darren for the Oaks.
Ruffy moves in. Velvet Lady goes in. We're ready now. The Star Australian Oaks field is set. A mile and a half ahead of them. Stand by for a start. Commando head bowling there. Missed the kick a little bit as the gates open, and Velvet Lady is taken back towards the tail of the field. Jumping well, Gin Martini, and Gypsy Goddess away well. Gypsy Goddess, Gin Martini, and Hinged is poking through into a very forward roll. El Patroness will camp forth the rails. Then came Commando Drift on the outside of Biscayne Bay, and Morris Sentley in the oranges plonked down on the fence. Further back to Charity Spirit, moving up 3 wide, and Advancer Youthful, and then came Secret Glamour on the rails. A length off to Pink Ivory, followed then by Lavilli and the White Cap. The well-fancied Honey Creeper is third last from Velvet Lady, and Hope in Your Heart is the last one. Commando Drift is coursing a little bit wide and moved up on the outside of Gin Martini, and the pair go stride for stride approaching the mile crossing mark, and Gypsy Goddess Pike's got her into a terrific spot up on the outside of El Patroness, followed by Charity Spirit, still caught deep on the outside of Hinged, and going up the inside is Morris Sentley. A length and a half then to Biscayne Bay, 2 off to Secret Glamour, who races on the inside of the Grey Youthful. They're followed by Pink Ivory from Lavilli, Honey Creeper, Velvet Lady, and Hope in Your Heart is the last one. Working down the back section of the course, and Gin Martini is the front runner by a half length on Commando Drift. El Patroness is travelling pretty strongly in third. On the inside of Gypsy Goddess, then Charity Spirit on the 3 wide path from Morris Sentley. They're followed then by the favourite Hinged about midfield. Biscayne Bay next in the check cap, followed by Secret Glamour. Racing on the inside of Youthful, and Pink Ivory now 3 wide trying to improve as they start the run down the side of the course. Further back to Lavilli from Honey Creeper, and the last 2 Velvet Lady and Hope in Your Heart. 800 metres to run down the Oaks. It's Gin Martini and Commando Drift going stride for stride. El Patroness is looking for an inside run at this point, trying to improve. Gypsy Goddess peeling out, and Pike starts his run on the Queenslander, followed by Velvet Lady, Hinge, wide out Biscayne Bay. Then came Secret Glamour, then came Pink Ivory. Now Honey Creeper, Bowman's getting right to the outside as they come up to the turn. Gin Martini leads for home from El Patroness, has come off the fence to issue a challenge. Gypsy Goddess, the outside, is trying to sustain the run. 3 lengths clear from Hinge, and Honey Creeper gives away a big start as El Patroness of the 200 beat off Gin Martini. Gypsy Goddess is just grinding away. El Patroness going boldly with 100 metres to run. El Patroness extending the lead on Gypsy Goddess, and here's a big one in the Australian Oaks for El Patroness. For Damien Lane won it easily from Gypsy Goddess. Gin Martini third, Hinge fourth, followed by Biscayne Bay, then Honey Creeper, followed by Lavilli. A gap back to Secret Glamour from Pink Ivory, then Youthful from Hope in Your Heart, Morris Sentley, Velvet Lady, Charity Spirit, and Commando Drift was last to finish.
El Patroness, Danny O'Brien. He won a derby with Sham Rocker, a filly, and now he's been able to win an Oaks. Damien Lane in the saddle. Danny O'Brien and Damien Lane. El Patroness, the Victorian, too good for the Queenslander. Gypsy Goddess, Pike and Van Dyke. It'll be 6-2, and we'll wait for the third number to go up.
Well, all those horses on speed, they certainly held on there, and what a terrific staying performance by the Victorian. El Patroness put into a beautiful spot by Damien Lane and sprinted away and put the issue beyond doubt. So no real excuses. Gypsy Goddess in the right spot all the way. Gin Martini on the speed all the way, and Hinge put herself in a good spot. Nothing happened from the back. Honey Creeper made some late ground, but that's a dominant win. Geez, he can get a stayer going. Danny O'Brien, can't he? And he's done a marvellous job with this filly to bring her here and be so dominant.
So he adds an Oaks to a Derby, and that is 22 career Group 1s for Danny O'Brien, 24 for D Lane. 8 Gin Martini runs third, 1 Hinge runs fourth, Biscayne Bay is fifth. 6-2-8-1, 6-2-8-1, they're in 2:38.19, 38.86 the last 600 metres, 2.5 lengths the winning margin along neck, second and third. So
This quaddie started here in Brisbane. Race 6 is upon us, a 78 handicap over 1350 metres. Snitzify from the Tony Gollan stable is your favourite. High Cost is the first chap we're going to look at here, Maxie. Kel Hickmott trains Leah Kilner in the saddle.
He's got 60.5, but he can carry weight.
Featherweight.
This is a high weights race, so you'd be brave to leave him out, but I haven't got him in the numbers, but he can.
All right, I know you're keen on Coup here from the Michael Nolan stable with Aidan Thompson.
Nobody else is looking at the market. I just felt that he'd lead here. He'll be aggressive